So I turned and I looked, and there was a tree probably about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 feet away from me. Did it blow down? Well, that son of a bitch was hunkered down, and all you could see was a damn head just staring at me like a piece of meat. And I was like, oh, shit.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Hamlet, and you are listening to the iHunt Podcast. The iHunt Podcast is dedicated to bringing you guests from all over this great country who share the same passion as you do, the great outdoors, and more precisely, hunting and fishing. Our guests will range from experts to people just like you and me, each of whom will be able to provide us personal insight into the tactics and strategies they use in their neck of the woods. From hooks, hooves, wings, and webs, we will cover it all. As always, subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. And don't forget to rate and review. That means a lot. Thanks for listening, and let's get to the show. All right, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the iHunt Podcast. This is episode number 010 with Mr. Outlaw, Lee Ellis. Man, and it is a good one we got lined up, man. We have a lot of fun on this episode. Lee is a country music singer. He's trying to take country music back to its roots and get back to the original sound, the sound that I know a lot of you are probably long for, and you guys are, if you're like me, your country music, what it's turned into is not really country music anymore, and we talk about that, and we just talk about how, he's just trying to make music that stays true to his roots and stays true to who he is and where he comes from and the type of music he likes, and I think you guys should definitely check him out. You guys can get to know him a little bit, get to know a little more about him, how he grew up, and he grew up hunting, and he's got a lot of good stories that he shares with us, and he kind of gives us his opinion on country music nowadays and what it's turned into, and it's a whole lot of fun. I actually really enjoy talking to him. You know how you have you get impressions about somebody before when you do these podcasts, you kind of build together an impression of what the person's going to be like before you talk to him, and let me tell you, Lee does not disappoint. He is everything I thought he was going to be. You guys are going to fall in love with him just like I did. I mean, he's a lot of fun, and it's very entertaining, and I know you guys are gonna like this episode. I'm not going to stretch this intro out. I don't have really any updates on the hunting aspect of things. We're kind of in between seasons right now. Just setting up running some trail cameras. Yeah, I do got an update. I did actually land some new private land that I'll get to hunt this deer season. It's actually from a friend of the family. I kind of been working on him for about a year. I started talking to him last year, and he said he had somebody else hunting his property, and he wasn't really interested in letting me. Not that he wasn't interested in letting me hunt, but he just didn't want too many people on his property, and he didn't want me interfering with somebody else. And then come to find out, that person never showed up and hunted his property once last year. So I told him, I'm like, look, I'm dead serious about coming out and hunting this season. I'll do anything you need me to do. I was like, I'll share the meat with you. I'm not some passive hunter. I'm gonna get out there and definitely hit it hard, and I'll definitely put some meat in your freezer for you. I sold it pretty good, I feel like, and he obviously was welcome to it, and he's given me permission to hunt his property, so I'm pretty excited. It's another probably about 50 acres I get to hunt pretty close to home, about a 15-minute drive from my house. I'm excited about getting the opportunity to get out and hang some trail cameras out there and see what kind of deer his property holds, so I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. And I wish I had a story for you guys to read like I did last week, that great story that was sent in last week, but you guys are a bunch of lazy listeners. Ain't not one of you has sent me a story to read on the air. I know you guys out there have some good hunting stories that you're probably wanting to share. Now, if you're not a good writer, that's fine. Send me an email at the iHuntpodcast@gmail.com. Write the story the best you can, and I'll do my best to church it up for you and get the details in there and make it exciting and make it good for the listeners and get your name out here, and you can share it with a pretty good audience. Speaking of the audience, I am really thankful and excited with the amount of people that are actually listening to this show. I can't thank you guys enough for all the sharing you're doing and just all the good comments I'm having about the show. You guys, it means a lot to me, and it's very rewarding to actually see the numbers grow the way they are. And I just want to thank you guys, man. It's a real pleasure to be able to do this for you guys. And like I said, you got a story, send it in. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this intro up and get to the show. You guys are gonna love it. It's a lot of fun. So without further ado, I present to you Mr. Outlaw Lee Ellis.
Making my way to the big town is what I'm trying to do. Not many have a sound like mine. An outlaw roughneck kind of tune. My songs are about me and my brothers and my point of view. Making my way to the big time is what we are gonna do.
Hello, Mr. Outlaw Lee Ellis. How are you doing today, man?
Oh, we're doing good down here at the studio. We done a little shooting today and yesterday, get ready for CMA Fest.
Shooting? How are you shooting videos or shooting guns?
Shooting guns, shooting videos of a shooting gun. So a little bit of both.
A double shoot, huh?
Yeah, double shoot, yeah.
What kind of guns you shooting?
Yeah. Let's see, we shot some ARs and some pistols, and we actually did a challenge. We took, I think it's got an H&K, a mechanic. I don't know if you heard of them or I got one, and I had my Glock and match to match, and actually the mechanic outshot the Glock M8K. It was just a cheap $350 gun. It was crazy.
Yeah, I know very little about guns, man. To be honest with you, I don't shoot a whole lot. I didn't grow up with guns. I'm basically a bow hunter, so most of the things I shoot are with a bow. I had a shotgun that I use for turkey hunting. I think I shot a handgun maybe once in my life, but that's about it. Yeah, I don't have much of a history.
That's the difference in the South. Yeah, that's the difference down here. Everybody, because down here, bow hunting ain't that big like it is up more north.
Yeah, you guys are pretty much raised with a gun in your hand down south, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's guns. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is down here. I mean, I started out when I was like 6 years old with a 22 and move up, to a shotgun to on up. That's just the way it is down here.
Yeah, you say down there you are in Georgia, right?
Georgia.
Born
yeah, Georgia. I'm about born and raised. We're about an hour north of Atlanta. More in North Georgia, towards the North Georgia mountains.
I got you. Are you a Falcons fan?
I like the Falcons.
Ooh.
Love the Falcons.
Tough year for you.
I know, right? And we get our new stadium this year, so, be next year probably, but we've done the Neiman Stadium, so that's going to be pretty good.
I'm surprised they didn't cancel plans for that after that Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, they played the heart out in the beginning. They fatigued themselves. See, that's what it was.
It's Tom Brady is what it is. You can't lay down on Tom Brady.
They were overconfident. What it was. They were running the game first couple of halves, and then boom, freight train hit them.
So maybe some of my listeners aren't familiar with you. We'll go ahead and give them the outline of who you are, what you do. You're Mr. Outlaw. You are a country.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, I was looking to get into music and started singing and writing some songs and stuff, and ended up getting founded by a guy named Prevo Rogers Jr. that owns 308 Productions. And he knew that I hadn't really sang, professionally, but he said there was something about me that he liked and was unique. Well, me and him got to talking for about a month or so, and He was like, well, you got a song you want to send me, and I can, we'll see what we can do with it. So I sent him a song, and it was Cocaine and Whiskey, and that's how I kind of started out. And I told him, I said, look, I want to go back to like the Waylon Jennings and Hank Jr. and the old school, the true outlaws, Johnny Cash kind of style stuff. So he's like, well, it's going to be hard with this kind of music nowadays,
So is he kind of trying to discourage you from going that route, or
Well, he wasn't discouraging me, but he was just going to let me know it's going to take time. It's not going to be like a pop country singer that comes in and gets famous overnight. It's going to take time, and it's going to take, getting songs and getting your name out there and getting your sound and getting established. It's going to take a while because people ain't, they're not used to that kind of music. It's been out for years. It hasn't been played for years.
Yeah, I think there definitely is a demand for that kind of music. I mean,
right.
I consider myself a country music fan, but I can't listen to the radio anymore. I can't listen.
Yeah, that's the way, right. That's what everybody says. They said they think they're not even listening to a country station nowadays because it sounds just like a pop station. Everything sounds the same, and it's just, they don't use, they're using all digitally mastered, sounds and stuff. There's no musicians playing no more like they're used to or nothing. So
it's almost like country music has kind of turned into kind of like the B leagues of pop music. If you ain't going to make it in pop music, you just write a country music album. We'll just say you're from the South, add a little twang on, put this hat on, and half the time they don't wear a cowboy hat anymore.
They don't wear cowboy hats. They wear skinny jeans. They wear, they wear whatever. They're not country anymore. There's no cowboy hats. There's no nothing. It's just. And the sad thing is, if you look at the last 10 years, it's been the same people. Who do you look in the last 10 years? You got Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, and Zach Brown, and there's no change. There's no new people coming into it. They're not allowing anybody in. They're just keeping that same group of people, and that's it.
Yeah, well,
So,
that's like perfect example. Sturgill Simpson. He's one who's actually doing real music. Real country music from back to the roots type country music, and he wins country music album of the year at the Grammys, and he doesn't even get acknowledged at the CMAs.
Don't even get acknowledged. Exactly.
How is that even possible?
Yeah, now Luke Combs is coming out with stuff that they really didn't want him to be involved in it, but he is so good and so liked, they had to accept him in that circle. It's just like, and that's the same way, like my producer told me, he said, you're going to have to just show people and build a fan base and show and push and push and push to let them, hey, people really want this, because you got to make people say, hey, we want this, they're trying to drive it out, so it's been hard. It's been rough and discouraging, but I've stuck with them and I've trusted everything he said, and it's now starting to come out, starting to really progress, and we're seeing a lot of changes.
Well, yeah, don't let it discourage you. I know when I found you on Twitter and I kind of checked out some of your music, like it immediately, your voice immediately resonates with those who are seeking the sounds from the past. Your voice is exactly
the raspy,
like
old school, right?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. That Waylon Jennings, that Hank Williams Jr. type sound that you're going for. I can kind of tell. I'm glad you said that you've only met it for a couple of years, because you can kind of tell you are a little green, but the voice,
I'm green.
The voice is definitely there. The sound is definitely there. Like you said, just experience and hell.
Just had some experience, right? Just like what you do in your hunting stuff now, getting started, and it's just kind of it's scary.
Yeah, I'm new at this. I've been hunting for 3 years, and hell, I decided to make a podcast. It's been you're my 10th episode in, and I feel like I'm getting better, but I know I have a lot of growing to do. And
yeah, it's great to it's like, and that's what I told him, and that's what he told me. He said, look, you come to me, we'll put one song out and see what happens. It's just, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And luckily, it worked, and it took off, and And what was cool with the first song we did, everybody would ask, "Oh, that was Johnny Cash's old song." I was like, "No, that's my song." I was like, "Good God, that's just like something he'd write." I was like, "Exactly." I look at their life, and I wrote about their life back then of doing drugs and drinking and they were true outlaws back then. They would be just sober enough just to do a show and stuff. It was totally different back then.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is that, you're doing it.
I've always, that's, like I said, I'm doing it my way and not following the crowd. It's kind of like what Waylon and them did. Everybody told Waylon he'd never be anything, and and when he went to Nashville, he couldn't make it in Nashville. He left Nashville and then become who he is, who we know today. In Nashville, he was told what to do and what not to do. He couldn't follow it, you know.
Yeah, and then him and Willie, they just went back to Texas.
Yeah, they went on.
Said fuck Nashville.
Well, they stayed in Nashville, but they went to they was like the hell with Nashville, and they went on their own label. They went on their own label, and that first Outlaw, you need to watch it. It's kind of cool. It's sad in a way, but when that album come out, the Outlaws with him and Willie and all them on that album, they won Album of the Year, and nobody clapped, nobody greeted them, nothing. But you know what they did? They got up, they went up there, they smiled, they got their award, and went back. They didn't, you know, it was amazing how, you know, because they were all shocked that they got Album of the Year. It was like, holy shit, you know. It was like, that's true that you can do what you can, you know, and if you put your mind to it, you know.
Yeah, I think that whole Dog and Pony show they have of awards.
Oh, yeah.
Awards for music.
Yeah, it's all the pretty boy. You know, that's what we call pretty boy country. It's always the pretty boys, this, that. You know, it's no, you know, roughneck people like there used to be in country music, you know. And then they just kind of cut them out.
Well, the fact that you're giving an award for art is just ridiculous to me, because art speaks to different people in different ways, and it's like, how can you say one album is greater than another?
Exactly.
And it's more of a personal experience when you're experiencing art. Like
it is, and that's what I had to learn too. I mean, there's people that don't like me, but there's people that don't like Jason Aldean. There's people that don't like Luke Bryant. It's an individual choice. But where I love is when somebody can listen to my song and say, "Holy crap, dude, that song, man, it was like you wrote that song for me." It totally is. It's a hard, true life story. You know, I mean, to me, that's worth more than $1 million because it's something that I come up with that can help somebody else, you know?
Yeah, that's gotta be where it's at for you. That's gotta be what drives you in the music industry.
Right, and that's kind of like what I got, you know, I hunted my whole life. And that's what I like about you teaming up with you and stuff, and you being the sponsor of CMA, because, I mean, hunting's a big part of my life. Me and my dad, that's just, you know, that was my time with him, and, you know, spending time in the woods, and, you know, it's like music. I was green. Me and him both were green when we first started hunting together, you know, but over the years you learn things, you talk to people, and, you know, you just kind of, you grow, you know, you learn.
Right, yeah. I mean, you make mistakes, and it's just like any endeavor you take on in life, you know. Nothing worth doing is easy to do, right?
Yeah. No, it's not easy. I mean, you know, I spent probably 10 years before I killed my first deer, you know. I mean, that's just the way it was, you know. It's like you. I'm going to tell you a funny story. This is the first deer I ever shot at. I was probably about 10 years old, 11 years old. And it was back in the early 90s, you know. Back in the early 90s, the SKS, you know, remember those? Those were like the gun everywhere. You know, they were everywhere. You could buy them for like $70, you know.
No, I don't know, but yeah, I'll take you.
You remember those?
Yeah, I think
right, yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, okay. Well, down here in the South, you know, SKSs, they were selling about a cases like $70 a piece. Well, my dad bought me one for a deer rifle. They used to call them the poor man's deer rifle because it's basically like a 30-30 but automatic. Well, so I'm sitting out there, you know, I'm green, you know, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm 10, 11 years, I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting against this pine tree, and for some reason I decide I'm going to look up. Well, I look up, and this deer, Jason, was probably, I would guarantee he's probably no more than 10 feet. And he was just sniffing right along, coming right along. And I look up, and you know what I do?
What'd you do?
I stood straight up, got up, just stood up. deer looks up at me. I mean, this thing had a huge rocket on. I'm looking at it, and I'm standing up, and it's standing up looking at me, and we're like eye to eye, like, oh shit, what the hell? So I shoot, you know, and then, you know, I mean, I don't, you know, of course, don't hit it anywhere, I guess, but, you know, I'm thinking, oh, dad, but, you know, it's just like, it was so weird, you know, you're thinking as a kid, oh man, if I see a deer, I'm gonna shoot. But I seen it, and I guess, man, naturally, I don't know why, but instead of sitting there and shooting it, I just stood straight up, you know, like, and then, you know, it was just weird, you know, but. You know, you hear all them stories, you know, people like, oh, man, a deer can smell you. Oh, man, that deer was just smelling the ground, walking like nothing was ever, you know, bothering it. It's weird.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're finicky animals, you know. I mean, I've heard stories of people shooting them and wearing red flannel straight off of work. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean.
But, you know, those are the outliers of the stories. There is a system that you need to take into account, and covering your scent and all that definitely is going to increase your odds. It doesn't mean you.
Oh yeah.
Cause they're like us. There's probably some stupid deer out there, just like there's.
Yeah, there was. I mean, this one, he was just bebopping on, just coming down up to the tree with me. I mean, I'm just like, what in the world, and I, you have, I don't know, the instinct, and I look, and boom, there he is. Like, wow.
So
kind of crazy.
So you missed him, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I just threw it up and shot. But I don't know why I ever stood up and didn't take my. I was so nervous as a kid. It's like, oh, it's my deer, it's a deer.
Yeah, I can imagine being
crazy,
10 years old, and I mean, I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, a big old buck. I mean, it was huge. Big old buck. Walk up on you. You just. Oof.
I know the way I was shaking when I shot my first buck. I mean, granted, I'd shot a few deer before that.
Right. Right.
That's why I kind of had a conversation with somebody about the other day. Like, we got into a conversation about when you're starting out, should you be passing up on deer or should you just be shooting whatever first walks in front of you? And kind of the strategy that I had beginning out was anything that I got a shot on, I was going to shoot. That was my mentality. I didn't care doe, how big it was.
Get that energy out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, my opinion is the only way you're going to get good at shooting deer is to shoot deer. It's a lot different than shooting a target. You got to find out.
Oh yeah.
How that arrow,
how it feels, right?
How it came out. Oh, he was quartering away this time. That's why the arrow passed through this way, and I didn't get a good shot. That way, you have all that information in your head for when that big 10, 12-point buck
big one comes
in front
up.
of you.
Exactly.
You've got your nerves. I mean, your nerves are still going to be up there, but not nearly as much. If that's the first deer you shoot at is that 12-point, I guarantee you're probably going to miss it.
Yeah, I mean, you just shake it in your boots. You just don't know what to think. It's like it's not even happening. It was like the world just stopped. It's just like we just locked eyes. Like, whoa, like what's going to happen here?
Yeah, that's funny because it is like the world stops because that when I had that run-in with my first buck, it's like it seemed like I was spacing off them for a half an hour at the time.
Yeah, it's like a standstill, yeah.
Then it's like you try to look back after it's all over and try to remember in the details, and it's like everything seems in your memory like it was just a blur, like it happened in an instant, and you try to put the pieces together. But that's what's fun about it, right? That feeling, the jitters you get, the shaking in the tree stand, the fact that I had to smoke about 4 cigarettes after I shot them.
That's just like with me. I mean, even if I miss, it's still the thrill. It's still that. It's still like that rush. It gives you that rush.
Yeah,
it gives you such a rush.
If it didn't, it probably wouldn't be fun anymore.
Yeah, that's like my dad told me. He said, "Son, even if you miss a deer, at least the good thing is you don't have to clean it and drag it. So just pretend you actually hit it." I was like, well, that's a good way to look at it. Because you still, regardless if you shoot it or not, you still, what I'm saying, you still got that feeling, it's just that nervous. I don't know. It's you're scared and happy at the same time. It's a weird sensation. It's just incredible how it feels.
It's funny you say that because you know who my best friends are in the woods? A lot of people are going to argue about this. Squirrels. Squirrels get me so excited throughout the whole day. Every time I hear a squirrel scurry, my heart gets pumping. I'm thinking, all right, maybe one's coming up behind me. Maybe one's coming up behind me. And then obviously it's a squirrel, but you get those little instances throughout the hunt of where you get excited.
Oh yeah, you start to get excited. Yeah. Or one day we was hunting and I was just sitting there in a tree stand. By the time a bird comes and flies in the tree stand with me, just sitting there, just looking at me like, what the hell, it's just crazy, and or squirrels, they'll if they ever notice you, they'll start warning all the other squirrels and shaking their tail and squealing and yelling, and then the whole damn woods are on lit up with birds and every damn thing else. It's like, good God.
Yeah, or then they don't.
It's like they warn everything.
Or then they don't notice you, and they're on your tree, and they start crawling down.
Yeah, they're on the tree. Yeah,
closer to your head, and you're about a foot and a half from your head. And you're like, this motherfucker is gonna jump on me.
And what's scary down here, like where you got bears. I mean, I've seen this one YouTube video where this bear's guy's up there bow hunting, and hell, the bear's shimmying up the tree, and just looking at it. I was like, there ain't no way. Hell no. No, hell no. There ain't no way.
You got bears down there?
I mean, yeah, oh yeah, we got a lot of black bear, and see, our bow season is in September, and it's hot as hell down here. See, the bears don't go in hibernation until about November, so shit, bears are out like hell the first of the hunting season.
Huh? Are they? Do they have a season on bear?
Yeah, we actually have a bear. Yeah, we have season for bear too. It's only like 2 or 3 days, but yeah, we got bear season down here. I mean, we got black panthers, mountain lions. I mean, there's all kind of shit. Hogs. I mean, it's anything you want to hunt is down here, down this way.
Black Panthers in Georgia?
Yes, Black Panthers in Georgia, mountain lions. Yeah, there's South Carolina. All that's eat up with Black Panther, man. And coyotes. Oh, God, coyotes are horrible here. Yeah, that's what's really killing our deer population is deer is not plentiful like they used to because the coyotes are just tearing them to pieces.
Do you think they're really hitting deer hard? The coyotes?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, like, when we hunt, you'll see dog track everywhere, but it's weird. It's just, you see coyotes everywhere. I mean, we trapped about, in year 4 last, we trapped 12 of them in about a month period, right before turkey season. Because that's when they really go crazy at turkey season, because then turkey's going into rut, and then the deer's having babies and all, man, they go nuts.
Yeah. You know, I can definitely envision, you know, coyotes hitting turkey populations pretty hard, and they could be hitting, you know, your groundhog population.
Oh yeah, they come after. And I got a story you're gonna love. We were hunting on kind of a mountain, and down below us was like a flat bottom. Well, we were only like 10 feet apart, me and my dad, but you know, I couldn't see him and he couldn't see me because we're, you know, kind of on the opposite side of the mountain, you know, but we're like 10 feet apart. Well, we had some decoys down in the valley, you know, below us, you know, to draw in the turkeys, you know. Mm-hmm. Well, I was running the chatterbox, you know, the wooden box, and I wasn't thinking nothing about it. I had my gun down below me and all, and I'm running the box, and then I stopped and I'm playing with my phone. I'd run the box. My dad was like, "Look over there." I was like, "What?" Well, look, and this big old huge, like a big old dog, but it was a coyote looked like a wolf looking thing, man. I mean, huge. And it just sat there and watched me the whole time while I was playing with that box, you know. I guess it thought I was a turkey, you know. It was carrying a turkey. So it's sitting there. And my dad, man, he's about half Indian or whatever. He's like, "I'm going to tell you what." I said, "What?" He says, "He's going to come down that hill. He's going to go back, because there was like a hill and then a road in between the other hill." Well, he said, "He's going to come down. He's going to go down like he's going out, and he's going to double back and come up right behind us." I was like, "Yeah, right. You're full of shit. You don't know what the hell you're talking about." Shit. I was sitting there playing on my phone, Jason. Have you ever had that feeling like you feel like something's watching you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I turned and I looked, and there was a tree probably about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 feet away from me. Did it blow down? Well, that son of a bitch was hunkered down, and all you could see was a damn head just staring at me like a piece of meat. And I was like, oh, shit.
Was he like ready to pounce?
And I had my gun. Yeah, like ready to pounce, like a cat, you know, just, I saw he was hunkered down on all four, and all you see was his nose and head, and he had his head laying on that log, you know, on that stump. And I was like, oh, shit. So, and I looked down, and I didn't turn my head. I just kept eyeballing. I looked, you know, out of the corner of my eye, and my gun's too far out of my reach because it's in between my legs, you know, like, but it's down, you know, down in the leash, you know, like kind of far away. And I was like, if I fucking move, this son of a bitch is going to get my ass. So I just stayed locked on my eye, and the only thing I could do was scream out for my dad. And I was like, "He's here!" And he started fumbling around him, and then he took off, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, you're right." He's like, "I told you that son of a bitch was going to come back. Why didn't you shoot him?" I said, "Because my gun's down here." "Yeah, you're playing with that damn phone texting and I almost got you." I was like, "Yeah." But I mean, you know, it's one of the surreal moments, like, damn, it's like, you know, I'm going to get my ass eat up, you know, because he was just on me. It's like, whoa.
That can't be too common. Is that a common thing?
No, I don't.
You ever hear stories?
Down here, yeah. I mean, oh, man. You hear stories all the time. People turkey hunting and calling in coyotes and bobcats and shit. Yeah, man. I mean, they just.
But they ever get attacked by
crazy.
coyotes?
Well, I mean, they come up to you like that. They're aggressive down here. They're very aggressive. I mean, they'll come up to you. They think if it's a turkey or some shit, they'll come right up to it.
Coyotes up here, they are like, I think the best way to classify them is that they're like the ghost of the woods. Like, you know they're there, and every now and then you'll catch a glimpse of one, and when you do, it's like you just stop and watch them because it's like, oh shit, there's a coyote. But it's not like,
oh hell no,
very, very not common. It's not common to see them. I know.
No shit, down here, they sound like they'll howl out. You can walk outside and hear them howling and shit. I mean, it's just eat up with them. They're just everywhere.
Well, that's like that whole howling. You know that when they're doing that, they're actually they're doing a roll call is what they're doing, and they're trying to find out
locate the other ones.
Yeah, and find out how many coyotes there are, and it's actually been shown that this is why there's an argument to the whole, you know, hunting to eradicate them aspect, is because, you know, it's been tried. We've done it successfully with wolves, but we haven't been successful with coyotes because they have they have in their instinct to where when they do that roll call, if the population of coyotes is down, it actually triggers something in the females to actually have a larger litter on her next litter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so really when we hunt them, some people believe that it's actually contradictory to the process of, they feel like if you just let them be, they will absorb the resources they have available, and then their population will stable out to a fitting population for the area they're in. But when we hunt them, it causes them to go into this mode of having more litters, and then those litters spread out.
Overbreeding, yeah, right.
Then they spread out into further country. That's why, I mean, coyotes used to just be isolated in the Yellowstone area of the country. And once we started hunting them to try to eradicate them,
right.
Exactly, like we did the wolves. We got rid of the wolves, but the coyotes, they did the complete opposite and spread out and expanded and overpopulated. Now we have coyotes in every state in the lower 48.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'll see them. I see them. See, I get off around 1:30, 2 o'clock at night, and it ain't nothing to see one just standing on the side of the road, you know, just sitting there eating something on the road or something. You know, I mean, they just plentiful, you know. It's crazy. And that's what's hard to hunt down here in Georgia and all, because for some reason the deer are nocturnal. I don't know what the hell. It's hard to tell.
It's so goddamn hot down there.
Yeah, I mean, when I come home from work, I mean, I can count probably 20, 30 deer at night coming home from work. I mean, they'll be right there on the interstate. But deer in the morning, during that late evening, you know, the only time you really see deer is like dead afternoon when they absolutely have to go out to eat, you know, when they're hungry. But as far as that's not so hard to hunt down here. I mean, even like Michael and Dale, all the, you know, big time boys, you know, they're like, you know, it's just so hard to hunt in Georgia because the deer are nocturnal, you know, it's so hard to, their schedule is so hard to get on.
Yeah, it's hot down there, and Georgia, you have a lot of thick shit down there too, right? I mean,
oh God, the shit. Oh man, you got to wear 2 pair of pants down here, or you're gonna be a bloodbath. I mean, it's just, and that's what's so weird with deer, man. I mean, when you hunt down here, you'll see a deer, and hell, that son of a bitch will go through the thickest shit you ever seen in your life like it ain't shit. I mean, they just run right through the shit like, and you're like, how the hell, you know? Where the hell?
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
And what's weird, man, is like turkey hunting down here, man. We was deer season, man. I've literally had like 6, 7 turkeys. We were walking down the road, and then somebody just pass you like they're like your best friends, like just look at you like, hey, what's up? And then during turkey season, shit, then some bitches are fucking gone.
Yeah.
And here in Georgia is weird. Like where we hunt a place called Paulden Forest, which is the #1 place in Georgia for turkey, and they've gotten so smart to where if you locate them, you know, you call them, and you hear them, you have to go to them. They won't come to you. That's how smart, because they're so scared of coyotes and shit. So you just have to track them and it takes, you know, 2 or 3 people to hunt the turkey, because you got to have one person calling, 2 or 3 people kind of scattered out, kind of, you know, making a fan to try to, you know, go around. I mean, it's just, they're smart as hell down. I mean, I guess because of survival down here, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if the coyote population's that high, they're definitely getting hunted.
Yeah, they get scared.
I bet you they probably aren't as vocal as they are up here, considering they're getting...
Oh, hell no. You barely hear them. I mean, if you do hear one cackle back at you, you better head towards it, because that son gun won't do it again. He won't. And they always run in packs, man. You won't ever see one by itself. Hell no. They run in packs. They're smart, you know.
Yeah.
They don't. It's crazy, man, down here. It's totally different.
Yeah, I'd like
Plus you got and snakes. Oh, Lord, man, we got a hell of some snakes down here, and they're all, you know, timber rattlers, big old rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, copperheads, water moccasins.
Then I ain't coming down there.
Yeah, so turkey season is, like, very scary down here. I mean, you better have snake boots, you better have pistol shot, whatever, because, I mean, it's dangerous down here. I mean, you really need to get a tree stand because of all the snakes and everything, you know, because turkey's like a damp, you know, cool area of water. Well, hell, that's where all the snakes are, you know. So, like, it's kind of scary down here to hunt turkey during turkey season.
Those snake boots, do they actually work?
Oh yeah, they work. I mean, I've seen them on YouTube and all where they work. You know, they bite and they just bounce right off. But it's a scary thing. I mean, it's you know, I used to go to the river and all that, play in the river and ghost tubing that. But ever since I've been watching all these videos, I didn't know, you know, the water moccasins and all that. Hell, they'll hide underwater and get in big groups and stuff. And we had I think it was about 2 years ago, we had somebody at the lake. They went in one of them little coves to go swimming and got in a whole group of water moccasins. I was like, oh, Lord.
So he swam into a group of water moccasins?
Yeah, like they were out there playing in the water, and I guess they got in their area or whatever, and they swarmed them like, about like piranhas, they're very, very aggressive. I mean,
did he get tore
you're out
up?
there fishing or something. Yeah, killed a guy. Yeah, yeah. It was like, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's, well, here's it's not only you're hunting, you're getting hunted down here too. I mean, between the poisonous snakes and the coyotes and all that, and down here we're real bad with the brown recluses. The spiders are real bad down here too.
God, that freaking, I mean, getting tore up by
I love the brown recluses.
By a pack of water moccasins. I mean, that's got to be one of the worst ways to go. I mean,
that'd be a bad way to die.
Because you probably drowned before the poison got them. So I mean, you're getting attacked by snakes all around you, getting bit, ate up, and then you drown. Oh my God, that's like one of the worst nightmares you could have.
Then you die. Yeah, then you die. Yeah, you die from the pain of the venom and stuff because you drown because you can't move. Yeah, I mean, and hell, nobody's gonna get out there and help you. I mean, who the hell's gonna jump out there and save you with a bunch of damn? I mean, you can't. There's nothing you can do, really. I mean, honestly, there's really nothing you can do. I mean,
I'm sure people
sit there and watch you get eat up as hell.
I'm sure people didn't really know what the hell was going on either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's plus down here we got alligators. We got in South Georgia you got everything in Georgia, man. I mean, it's just because you got the coastal line. You got all the beaches. You got up north. You got the mountains and bears. I mean, Georgia is like. The East Coast is just so awesome, man. All like South Carolina, North Carolina, all of it's got coastline plus mountains. So I mean, you got both of both worlds, You got the fishing, the hunting, the freshwater. You got whatever you want down here.
Yeah, it's pretty country down there. I've never actually visited Georgia. I've drove through it on the way to Florida or stopped at Atlanta International Airport for a layover, but I think everybody on the planet stopped at Atlanta at some point.
Oh yeah, that's the main. Yeah, that's the international airport. So yeah, that's the main hub. So.
And actually, my brother is actually stationed down there in Savannah, and I'm trying to get him to line me up with somebody down there to go do some pig hunting. You ever do any pig hunting down there?
Yeah, I haven't done none, but I got some buddies that pig hunt, and I'm going to have to get you hooked up with it. They go, and I think he sells like $100 a day or something, but, I mean, they gut them, clean them, and, they do all the work for you. You just shoot them, whatever, it's like a little getaway. But, yeah, down South Georgia is full of hogs.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I want to pay. I want to go and hunt some public land or somebody's private land.
There's some... They got some public land. They got a WMA down there somewhere that's supposed to be really good hog hunting.
That's what fucking kills me about this big hog problem supposedly you guys have down there in the South. But anytime you try to go hunt down there, hunt some hogs, somebody's always wanting to charge you money. It's like, do you have a problem?
Yeah.
Or do you not have a problem?
Yeah, I mean, I got that. And then I was watching, they got those big old rats, huge water rats out in Louisiana and the bayous and all that. That's the way. Yeah, they want to charge you to go out and shoot them now. It's like, really? I mean, they're a nuisance. They said you want to charge me like $100, $200 a day to go out there and shoot shit. Really? Making a business out of it.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. If you want to get rid of something, then if you're a farmer and you want to get rid of some pigs on your land, then hey, just let somebody come and hunt them.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of makes me wonder about pigs. Like, I've obviously never heard this theory before, and I'm just speaking out of my ass on this one. But I wonder if something's going on with pigs, like what went on with the coyotes. The fact that now the fact that we're hunting them and pursuing them as hard as we are, that's what's causing them to spread further north in the country. Or maybe it was just inevitably going to happen anyway, with just as quick as.
Well, I think that, and I think a bunch of older rich people was breeding them and hunting them, and then they probably got out of control and started letting them go. You know what I mean? They were probably, you never know.
Well, yeah. I think one of the problems that they're having in states now is where people are actually releasing hogs where they don't have fur.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. So they can then turn around and guide people to hunt those hogs. And it's like, there's actually states getting ahead of that now to where they're just they're going the other direction and making it completely illegal to hunt wild hogs.
Yeah, exactly.
To prevent people from having any interest in releasing hogs and making them feral. And it's kind of like you said, it's kind of a different approach than what you would think, but it actually does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah, and that's what goes on with that. And then, it's the same thing with like the snakes. They say in Florida, they say there's so many snakes and hybrid snakes down there because all these people get these pet snakes down there, and then they release them, and then they mate with the other snakes, and then it becomes another snake, and then that snake hunt, gets with another snake, and it's like, man, there ain't no way. I mean, there's no way I'd ever want to go down there and hunt. There's just no way. It's just, oof.
Yeah, you got fucking
or Texas.
pythons. Oh, don't even get started on Texas. Texas is a whole other thing.
Golly, man, let's watch them, man. Ooh, big old rattlesnakes when they're out there hunting and shit. Oh, hell no.
Hell, you can hunt anything in Texas. They got whatever you want to hunt.
That's it. Antelope, anything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Whatever you want to hunt, they got it in a fence somewhere for you to hunt.
Well, there's a place down in Florida like that, man. They got an actual African safari hunt down in Florida somewhere where you can pay and shoot like zebras and all kind of exotic animals and shit. I'm like, well, what the hell? That ain't fun. That ain't no fun. You're there in a caged area, I mean, really?
Yeah, they probably they're all sitting in the stable there. So which one you want to shoot? All right.
Yeah, really.
I have it's funny that we're kind of talking about this because I had a buddy who went down and I don't know if it was Georgia. He went somewhere down south to do. He was down there on vacation. He ended up doing a hog hunt while he was down there. It was I say hog hunt in quotation marks because what they did is they went out, grabbed a hog. I don't know if they caught it, if there's a trap or what, and then they tied this hog to the tree and essentially had him walk up with a knife to stab this pig. He was telling me a story about it. I'm like, that's the kid's never hunted before in his life. And I was like, that's not hunting, dude. I'm sorry. That is something totally different, and that's not hunting. That is sick and morbid. I mean, to stab an animal that's tied up to a tree.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's inhumane. That's just crazy. But that's, as a kid, I'd be watching hunting shows, and I'd get pissed off at my dad, like, how come we don't kill no one? He's like, you know why, son? Because they fence these animals in, and they raise these animals, and then they release them like wild dogs out in this, 20-acre field in these woods, and they kill them, or they keep them coming in. They that's how they kill all these big deer. Because if you're a real true hunter, you just go out in the woods. I mean, you're taking a gamble, man. I mean, that's real hunting. I mean, you don't know where they're at or where they're coming from. I mean, that's hunting. That's real hunting.
Yeah. There's definitely some of that on the TV of where you have.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it may not be as blatant as what you see in some of these high fence areas in Texas,
right.
But there's definitely on some pristine land that has a fence around it.
Oh yeah,
that they're feeding those deer something fierce and.
Oh yeah, they get them on steroids and everything else.
You got guys on there who like music. You got some phonies, and you got your guys who are actually out there doing things the right way. Like you ever watch or listen to, or seen Steve Ellis show Meteor?
Right.
He's a guy who's out there doing it the right way, doing backpack hunting out west, and you can tell he's putting the work. And you know what? Some shows he doesn't shoot anything, and he shows that, and he's not afraid to show that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, scouting part is a lot of it. I mean, you got to scout, you got to look, you got to find the signs, you got to know what time of day they're coming in and out. You got to know, a lot. There's a lot to it. It ain't just going out in the woods. And see, that's what we didn't learn when we first started hunting. We just go out and sit, and then finally we got to learn, well, hey, man, during the summers and stuff, we got to start finding where these deer are coming and going, around about what time they're coming. That way, deer season, we know what to do,
Yeah, well, I think one of the best times to do that is after postseason, right when the season ends.
Yep.
It's like the best time to get in the woods and do scouting. Everybody thinks deer season's over at that point, but man, I think you got another good month left of deer season after deer season's over, because you got there's no overgrowth on the ground. You can see trails so clearly. You ain't got to worry about walking around and spooking anything, because you're not hunting again for 6 months or whatever it is. And
exactly.
I mean, it's just the most perfect time to get in and start plotting some trails and start figuring out where you're going to be placing your trail cameras at. Which trail cameras has totally changed the game. I couldn't imagine of hunting and trying to learn the land back at how people used to do it before trail cameras. I've always had 3 years hunting, and I've always had trail cameras at my disposal, which is definitely, I can imagine it's changed the game tremendously on patterning these deer and finding out where they're moving. You find a trail, you can put a camera on it and find their trail, put their camera on it and see what's moving when, and it's totally changed the game. It's kind of an unfair advantage in some way.
Yeah, we still don't do that. We still try to do it a little bit old-fashioned. I mean, we just, put our food plots out, do our corn, and do our, like the, just kind of stay in a certain area.
You guys are allowed, you guys hunt over corn, like corn piles?
No, we're not allowed, but we do it all summer, and then we get it up about a month before. I think you got to have it 10 days up before you hunt.
So you're just,
or it has to be. I think it has to. Right, or it has to be like, I think it's 200 yards. It has to be away from where you're hunting, so it has to be pretty much like out of sight, where you're hunting.
I got you. You're just trying to hold deer on the property, kind of.
Right. But I'd say the best thing that we use to draw deer is that deer cane, that deer cocaine. Oh my God, they will tear the ground to pieces with that stuff.
Is this an unpaid sponsor?
Yeah, I know, right? We need them. God, that stuff is so amazing, though. But man.
Yeah,
Dad, I'll tell you another thing. Another thing that'll work is Kool-Aid. Great Kool-Aid. You mix it with corn. Oh shit.
Doesn't that get the hogs to come in too, though?
No, we don't have any hogs up here where we're at. It's just deer. Now, the bad thing is you got all the damn raccoons and damn squirrels and shit in your corn. Man, they'll eat the hell out of your corn. They'll eat it up.
One small trick I learned about corn that I had a buddy show me this year, which I was dumbfounded by the effects. I had used to my first couple of years, because we're actually allowed to hunt over corn here in Ohio, where I was using corn straight that you'd buy from like your Cabela's or your Field and Streams, those bags of corn.
Just a 10 bag, the 40-pound bag. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy's like, he's like, you gotta stop using that shit. He's like, what you need to do is you need to find the corn farmer close to that property where you're hunting and go directly to him and buy your shelled corn from him. Most of the time they have deer corn they'll sell you, and buy it straight from them because that's what those deer are used to eating. And I did that this year. I cannot believe the difference in the amount of deer I had hitting the corn. Yeah, because you got to think that's what they're used to hitting. It's right
it's organic, yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's not something that's flown in from Iowa or wherever. It's, it's a different strand, different genes, something they're not used to. It made sense, but it's something I would never even considered.
Yeah, it's small things. It's amazing. But a lot of things, though, like with us, they say, I've seen more deer and shot more deer walking and talking and just bullshitting around than we have just sitting in the damn stand. It's just amazing, man. It's just
really.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's the luck of the draw, man. It's just, I don't know why. It's just weird.
I guess you could probably get away with that when you got a rifle in your hand. I don't think you can get away with that with a bow. Yeah. That's totally different when you got a rifle. Yeah, it's what are you shooting about? 150, 200 yards.
I'd say the maximum is probably maybe 150 because it's so damn thick now. Most places, you're lucky to get 15 yards out of it. It's so damn thick.
Oh yeah, that's a valid point.
If you try to hunt out in the open here, you ain't gonna kill shit because they stay in the deep, thick shit. I mean, you ain't gonna kill shit if it's out in the open. They're smart. They don't get out in the open except for at night.
No, they ain't stupid.
No, and then what's cool, I've seen them, and they'll actually, when they walk out to the road, they will look back and forth, and then cross it. They're smart. They won't walk down the road or walk. They'll actually look, and then they're smart.
Yeah.
If they see, or they'll stay right on the edge of the tree line. That way, if they have to dart, they're gone. They're pretty smart.
That's funny. I'm glad you brought that up. When I forget where I heard this at the other day, that coyotes, they've been tracking these coyotes in urban areas now where they've actually learned to, like some of those street light signs, they'll have a tone.
Right.
That tone when you can cross. They've learned that tone and they wait for that tone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
That's crazy as hell. I guess they adapt to their environment, I guess. That's crazy.
Yeah, I always wondered how long it's going to take deer to evolve to know how to avoid cars, because it's like they know how to avoid people in the woods. How have they not learned to stay?
That or a squirrel, man. A squirrel will scare the hell out of you at night. They'll come flying, or a rabbit. They'll come flying out, go back, come out, go back. It's like oh shit. It's like, man.
You just wonder how long the evolution is going to take. It's got to happen eventually, but
The thought, cool. We had a turkey hen one year, and we're walking down the road on the trail, and she comes out sideways, like running sideways with her head sideways, runs out. I was like, what the hell? And then she come back around again, like in a circle, and running like in a circle. I was like, what the hell? Like sideways. Oh, it's funny watching them turkey. They're so fat, you know, they can't hardly run. You know, they get to run and they can't run. You know, it's like, what the hell? But like I say, you only see them during deer season, man. I mean, they'll come right to you during deer season. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I had this last deer season. I think I was sitting in the stand. I saw 12 gobblers in a group. Right in front of me. It was like 6 on one side and 6 on the other, and it was like a gang warfare in the middle of the woods. They were just chasing each other up and down the trails all around me for probably 45 minutes of fucking 12 long-bearded gobblers running around me. And of course, spring comes and I don't see nothing. I see all kinds of deer in the spring.
I think another funny story I got. This guy I work with. He thinks he's Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Badass, you know, this and that. And we was deer hunting, and he's like, "Let me show you." Somebody shot this deer and left it away. Yeah, you could smell it. That time, man. All of a sudden, this big ass fucking buzzer. That shit was like, oh, sound like an airplane. We both hit the ground, just like that's just. You know, I don't care how badass you are, but you hear something like that or hear something, man, you hit the fucking ground, man. I mean, it's just like, oh shit, you know. I didn't realize how big they are, man, but holy shit, they are huge.
Yeah,
it's just like, man.
Definitely when their wings start flapping like that, you get a good sense of how big they are. You think it's a fucking one of those Thunderbirds coming after you or something.
Oh God, yeah, and that's what I thought. I was like, man, could you imagine? Now, see why you shouldn't hunt by yourself. Could you imagine like breaking your leg and being out there and stranded and that somebody start eating on you or some shit? Oh my God, that would be a horrible death.
That'd be a horrible way to go. But thank God I always got my cell phone on me.
Yeah, I was like, oof. I'll tell you another bad thing happened one time as a kid. You know how those old timey, I had the first time old climber, you know, climbing up. Well, hell, the damn bottom fell out of that Sunday, so all I had was a seat. I'm sitting there. I had to sit there and wait for my dad to come because I had no way to get out, you know. I was like, damn, if I'd been by myself, I'd have been stranded, you know.
Yeah, you probably.
He's like, well, you dumbass, why didn't you tie something to the bottom? I was like, hell, I don't know. I'm like 11, 12 years old. You ain't thinking about stuff like that, you know.
You probably didn't even have a harness on at that time, did you?
Heck no, man. It's crazy. I've got around like trees. It's better than trees now. Especially when it gets windy, you get up there and there's wind blowing, you feel like you're drunk. Ugh.
Yeah. I myself, I'm scared of heights. It's like the first time.
Yeah, I don't like too much either. First
time I got up in a tree stand, I mean, it was an eerie feeling because, you know, like you said, that you don't expect that tree to sway the way it does. I mean, obviously, once you do it a few times, you start getting used to it and you got your harness on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been up in a tree without a harness. I mean, it's just the day and age now. You know, the hunting community's been really good at stressing the fact that you need to be wearing a harness and definitely getting that message across to especially new hunters like myself and how important it is. Which we pretty much just use blinds all the time nowadays because it's just the way they don't smell you, they don't see you, they don't, you know, it's just better that way. Blinds are fun because you can hunt with a buddy, you know. That's what makes a blind fun, in my opinion.
Well, that and down here, I mean, you never know. It rains and storms, or you know, it'll be 30 degrees one day and 80 the next. So it's crazy down here, you know. It's just so hard to adjust your equipment, you know. I mean, one day you're freezing to death, next day you're pouring sweat. It's crazy.
You guys get a lot of shit that blows on off of the coast too, probably.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so hard. It's down here to hunt. I mean, it's rough. I mean, it's between the weather, the venomous snakes, and all the other predators out there. It's just crazy, man. It's different world down here.
You're not making too much of a case. You've been talking about me coming down there and hunting with you. You ain't talking.
I'm just telling you the fun stuff. You definitely got to carry a pistol with you at all times because you just never know. It's just the way it is, you know. I always carry a big knife. A knife ain't gonna jam, or you know, you just never know down here.
Yeah, I ain't gotta worry about that shit up here. We ain't got no poisonous snakes. We ain't got no bear, no mountain lions. We ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy.
I walk in the woods in pitch black and really have nothing to worry about. I mean, the thought crosses my mind about a coyote, but I think I'd be the first person ever in Ohio to get mauled by a coyote.
No, yeah, my buddy said they were shooting at some one time, and they were coming. I mean, they were literally coming after them. You know, like coming aggressive. You know, I'm like, man, it's crazy down here, man. It's like you're getting hunted. I mean, it kind of it's a thrill, but it ain't a thrill. You know, you're like, man, it's kind of scary.
Were they predator calling or anything when they?
Yeah, well, what they were doing, they had a predator call, and they had one of those like rabbit-looking piece of things that like flopping, you know, like a dead rabbit, like a rabbit. And man, he said, man, they was out there maybe 10 minutes, and one showed up, and another one showed up, and they were just, man, they were dead after that decoy, you know.
Yeah,
definitely. It was just crazy.
Definitely triggers something, that hunting instinct in them, and yeah, they're going to come after you then.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, somebody did said it. Yeah, I mean, he said he was watching the hunting show one day, and the guy was calling one in, predator call, and his cameraman always carries a shotgun. Well, hell, the guy froze up, and the coyote's running at him, and he got almost to him. The cameraman had to shoot him, and the cameraman's like, what the hell? He's like, I don't know, man. I just froze. You know, people always, you know, it's funny how people say, man, I just shot him. But when you're in that situation, dude, you don't know what you're going to do. You know, I mean, you just don't know. I mean, your body, you get so scared, you know what I mean? You lock up, you know, you just freeze. You can't move. You're so scared.
Yeah, you really don't know what you're going to do. I mean, what if it's a fucking grizzly bear charging at you or something?
Yeah, no shit, you know. I mean,
and you got one chance, one shot to hit him, and he's fucking 15 yards from you, charging at you. You know, what's your training and your target practice and all that going to pay off then?
Yeah, that shit goes out the window. Yeah, that shit goes out. Then you go to instinct. It's like, oh shit.
Instinct and prayer.
You know, yeah, that's what I tell people. I don't care. You can shoot and do what you want. I said, but when it comes down to surviving, you might get killed because you might freeze. No, I'm telling you. It's like if you hear a sound in your house at night, what do you do? Well, you freeze like your body feels like it's 1,000 pounds. You know, you can't move. All you can do is move your eyes. You're just like, what the hell? You know, it's like you're in a trance, like you're on drugs. Like, I can't move. What the hell?
Yeah, it's always like,
it paralyzes you.
We hear a sound laying in bed with my wife. We'll hear a sound, and she go, "What was that?" And I go,
"Yeah,
I don't know. It's probably nothing. Just you gotta get up and check." Like, no, it's probably nothing.
No,
go
you're
check.
Just covering it up. You're just like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, she's like, go check. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll fucking go check. But yeah, that's your first thing.
Yeah,
no,
amazing,
it's good.
Man.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's filler, man. And what pisses you off is like you'll hunt all day, you don't see shit, and you'll be on the way home at night, and then there'll be deer everywhere. You're like, really? What the hell, man? It's like, or you see deer on the way to deer camp, and you don't see nothing all day. That'll piss you off. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah, I never have. I've never had the luxury of having a deer camp yet. I've always.
It's nice. It's nice to be able to just go and chill out and
drink some beers, socialize with people.
Drink a little beers, and do your stuff, and it's pretty neat. And then you hunt, but it's I've learned though we usually hunt for about 2 or 3 hours in the morning, and we won't hunt until later on in the day, or because you just I can't just sit out there all day like some people do. I don't see how they do it.
Yes, that's the way I am too, man. I can't sit out there all day. Like you said, I'll hunt the morning until 10 or 11, and then I'll hunt I'll hunt the evening from about 4 or 5 till sundown. I mean, it's either I hunt morning or evening. I don't pull those all day sits. I think you're doing more harm than good when you're sitting in a stand in the middle of the afternoon, sweating your ass off and stinking up the woods for 12 hours, and it's like, why are you going to blow a stand for the entire season just to sit there? I mean, I'm sure people kill deer at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I ain't going to kill a deer at 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but.
No. Well, it's like turkey hunting, it's like I had to teach my dad, you got to be on the move turkey hunting. You got to sit there, try to locate them. And if they ain't there, if they don't call back 15, 20 minutes, you go to a whole different environment, another whole area and try. Because you'll eventually locate one, but if you just stay there all, you don't. It don't happen. It just don't happen that way. You gotta try to find where they're at. They're not gonna come right to you. And they're so smart.
Yeah, there's definitely two different schools on thought of that. Two different schools of thought on that as well. And yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah, I mean some people do that. Yeah, that's the way I do. I'll try to locate them for about 20 minutes, so then I'll move. To a whole other side of the woods or something, and then I might come back to that spot, 2 or 3 hours later. But, I mean, that's the way I do it. Might not be right, but I mean, it works. We locate. I mean, it works.
Well, especially if you got a lot of land to move around on. I mean, some people like I know one area I hunt, I'm kind of restricted on about 50 acres of property, but public land I hunt on, I have a pretty good amount of land to move around on. But when you're hunting public land, it's a different ballgame because it's like you kind of get a little eerie and about moving around through the woods a lot through the day when you know there's other people when they're hunting, and I don't really trust fucking people a lot when it comes to they having guns in their hands and I'm walking through the woods.
I was hunting in the WMA, like that public land, and I was they were probably about 1,000 yards away, and I'm like, we're out to death. He said, what? You see that orange over there? There's somebody sitting directly pointed right at us. I said, if they shoot at a deer, they're going to get us. You know what I mean? It's like, good Lord.
Yeah, it's
I don't like that.
It's fucking dangerous on public land. It definitely is. I mean, it's, like I said, it's a different ballgame. Unless you're hunting out there in the west where you're talking 20,000 acres.
Right.
Sure, that's different.
Exactly.
Ohio, I'm talking public land I hunt on is probably about 250, 300 acres, and you're talking there could be
50, 60 people or something out there, yeah.
I found a nice little isolated area. I've never seen that many people. There's only probably about 7 or 8 other guys in the woods.
Oh, that ain't bad.
It's not bad at all, but it's still enough to make you weary when you're walking through the woods.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I do know. I have heard stories of people that on other public land around here who said that there's just somebody on every fucking tree, and yeah, that's not that.
Right, and you're walking, and you feel like an asshole. You're walking along.
Yeah, like I don't want to screw. I don't want to get shot, but I don't want to screw up somebody else's hunt as well.
Yeah, and that's crazy, but we're gonna get it. We appreciate you being the sponsor, and can't wait to do more stuff with you, and hopefully get to bring you down here and go hunting one weekend. And
yeah, definitely, man. I would definitely love to do it. Maybe we can look at planning something like that next year. I mean, obviously, we'll have you back on again, and we can chat some more. I'm planning a trip probably this year, probably November this year, going to Wisconsin to do some hunting. So probably this year may be out. But, yeah, maybe next year come down and maybe set up a hog hunt or set up a turkey hunt or something.
Yeah, we'll set up. Yeah, we got a good turkey. Yeah, we actually hunt with Jason Aldean's family. They got a place down in South Georgia. They got about 900 and something acres. That's where I started hunting now with his family. And, man, you come down there, man, it's awesome down there, man. It's a big deer, turkey. I mean, it's beautiful. That'd
be a blast. I'll definitely have to. Take you up on that.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, man. It's beautiful. It's cool. It's nice. I mean, of course, you got the rattlesnakes down there, but other than that, it's good. Definitely want to go in pairs.
I'll get me some snake boots, pants, shirts.
Yeah, you better get you some. Yeah, you got to get you some thick pants for the briars and some thick boots for the snakes. So. Yeah, you can't wear. You got to wear like jean material camo, because that's just cheap. Like regular cotton material. Oh man, that shit'll just tear you all to pieces with that. And you better not have no pretty gun, because it's gonna get scratch all to pieces down here. I mean, it's just part of it. I mean, it's hunting down here.
I got a Mossberg 500. That's my shotgun.
That's what. And that's what's funny too, man. My buddy said he does a lot of these turkey shoots, and he's got a Remington 870. He said these guys go out there with these Berettas and these, Ithaca, all these $2,000-$3,000 guns, and he says, hell, they're jamming every other shot, and he's out there just busting that ass. And so is those Mossberg 500s. He's like, it's just, it's just crazy. It just goes to show you, it ain't. You don't have to have the most expensive hunting stuff as long as you buy something half decent and take care of it. I mean, you don't have to have a $1,000 rifle or shotgun, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Man, everything I hunt with, I've bought used, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just retarded, man. You seen the guy went, ain't this a pretty gun? I paid $1,500. I was like, yeah, it's beautiful, real good, but I wouldn't even want to take that thing outside. I'd be scared to even let a piece of wind or rock or something might hit it. Good Lord.
So yeah, I already laid out to you. I don't know much about guns, and you seem to be somewhat of an expert in guns. At least been around them your whole life. What? Oh
yeah, that's all I've done.
What would be what you would suggest for me to? I'm looking into buying my first rifle, probably this year. What brand? What caliber? What should I be going for? So, something that I can't hunt deer with a rifle where I live. I can hunt, and if I decide to do some out-of-state hunting down in Kentucky, and I can hunt there with a rifle, or if I wanted to go out west and do some antelope hunting or some elk hunting, something like that, what would be a good all-around gun that I would...
Probably the all-around, what most people use 7 mag. Usually when the Browning automatic 7 mags is what most people use.
Browning, you said?
But, yeah, the Browning is kind of like the old Remington Woodmaster. It's a 5-shot automatic.
Okay.
I'm just an automatic fanatic for me. I mean, I just love an automatic for me. I mean, that's just...
So you don't get into the single load bolt action?
No, I don't like it. I mean, I know they're a little more accurate now, but I just like, I don't know, I just love the automatic, man. That's just me. I'm an automatic person. I love it.
You like having that second shot ready to go, huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, especially down here. I mean, not only you got to worry about the deer, like I said, you got a damn bolt action rifle. I mean, you miss a snake or something on that first shot, hell, you're done. Or a coyote, you know. You need more than one shot, you know.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's a 7 mag is probably about the versatile gun for us down here if you want something long range and, you know.
All right, well, I'll look into them.
That's a good flat shooting gun.
You believe we just did a fucking hour?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, flew by, man. I had a little game that I wanted to play with you before we got off the phone here. Since you're Mr. Outlaw,
let's do it.
You're King Country. I wanted to play a game. I'm gonna list off. You don't have to play this game if you don't want to, if it makes you uncomfortable. But I wanted to list some artists now, and you tell me, country or not country.
All right, let's go.
You ready to do it? All right, let's go.
I'll do it.
Blake Shelton.
Used to be country, not country now.
Florida Georgia Lines.
Definitely not country.
Luke Bryant.
Used to be country, now not country. No, I say now not country.
Keith Urban.
He's never really, I'd say he's more pop. Yeah, he's pop. No, I wouldn't say he's country.
He's fucking Australian.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a pop sensation, yeah.
Sturgill Simpson.
I've never really heard of him.
You never heard of Sturgill Simpson? Oh, dude, you got
never heard. I have to look him up.
When you get off of here, you need to Google Sturgill Simpson. He's got 3 albums out. Check out his last album. Check out his first album. Check out his second album. Guy's freaking amazing. You will fall in love immediately. I promise you'll fall in love immediately.
Oh.
Wheeler Walker Jr. Have you heard of him?
Heard of him? Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, he's got some dirty songs, but he's fun. All right, my last one. Lee Ellis.
Oh, definitely. We're Southern Rock Outlaw. That's more. We got that. We got more of a. That's more to us though. We got more of a. I guess you'd say a Southern Rock. Grungy. We're more grunt, just dirty country, man. We just got that dirty, just old, sound.
I love it, man. I love it. Like I said, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep pounding it out. Keep following your dreams. Like I said, your voice is great. The music's great.
We're growing, and
you guys just keep singing about you. Be true to yourself. Keep singing from your heart and writing songs about you and your experience, and you can't go wrong, man. And I'm
definitely not. Definitely, and we appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to show your shirt. The shirts beginning tomorrow when we get to Nashville. They're supposed to be they're being delivered to the hotel, so we'll take a bunch of pictures and
awesome.
Appreciate you being a sponsor, and we'll let people know to join, listen to your show and all that stuff, and that we're on it. So
let everybody know where you're going to be at this weekend. We're
going
CMA Fest.
Yeah, we're at CMA Fest from Thursday to Sunday, and Friday night we're having a huge meet and greet with me at Wild Horse Saloon. So if anybody's in the Nashville area, come down. We're going to have a huge meet and greet and drink beer and just enjoy, this is kind of like our celebration of country music, Of course, not the new country music, but the country music. But, if you listen to my song My Way, that's pretty much the way country is now. Everybody wants to be, the next robot, basically, I mean, that's all it is. It's crazy. But, yeah, I mean.
You guys performing at all down there?
Well, I'm going to do a show tomorrow, actually with a George Floyd tomorrow night, and then, I don't know who, there ain't no telling, man. People probably invite me on stage. You just never know.
All right, awesome. Well,
we just kind of go with the flow this year, so.
If you guys want to stay up to date on Lee Ellis and the Outlaws, and you can follow him on Twitter at Lee Ellis, LeeEllis, right? I got that right?
Yep. Yep, nbsp.com.
And he will sure keep you posted on all his events going on this weekend out there in Nashville. And if you're visiting CMA Fest, I encourage you to stop in and check him out at his meet and greet and just follow along and see if he's performing anywhere.
And we'll definitely add you to the website and stuff so people can come to your link and hear you and all that and get to learn more about hunting, and we can learn more about hunting together. So that's good stuff.
That's awesome, man. Like I said, I do appreciate you coming on, and good luck this weekend. Have fun, take it easy, and try to take it a little easy on the moonshine. I know you're gonna be getting crazy now.
Oh yeah, we'll be drinking a little bit, so it'll be good. I won't be with my North Carolina boys this weekend, so we'll be just drinking beer. So.
All right, well, just stay out of trouble, man.
All right, you be good. I appreciate you.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, bye.
All right, guys, that's it. That's the show. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. If you're going to CMA Fest this year, find Lee Ellis, check him out, go party with him. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. Check out his music on, I know it's on Google Play. I'm sure it's on iTunes too. Give him a listen. He's also on YouTube. You can check out his channel and listen to some of his songs there. I hope you guys like it. We got some good shows coming up this weekend. I'm going to be talking to Luke Bike about muskie fishing, and I'm having Don Pratt coming on also this weekend to take us through step-by-step process to processing that wild game. So until then, guys, take care, and I will see you soon.